Old dog. An old dog represents a program or a tradition or an event or maybe a process that's just dying. Its vitality is gone. It's pretty clear that its time is coming to an end. There are 3 ways to handle an old dog. 1 is you feed it, 2, you starve it, or 3, you kill it. Now, let me just say this up front. An old dog does not represent a person. We do not treat people in any of those ways. That's not the point of this. This represents that old program that so-and-so champions and loves, and they really find meaning in that, but it's not effective anymore. And kind of everybody knows we shouldn't be investing this much resource into that program. It's just not working anymore. It's outdated. This represents maybe a style or an approach of ministry that is not effective in this culture. It's an old dog, and it's just consuming resources, but it's clearly dying, and we have to make a decision. So these 3 ways. 1 way is to feed it. Sometimes you feed an old dog, and it really can come back to life. And so it just needed the proper energy and nourishment and nutrition. This might be a good first step if you're not sure if this thing needs to stop or not. You also may feed an old dog at certain times as a leader, even if you know it needs to die. You might feed it to demonstrate care, not for the dog, but for the owner. There may be a person who loves this program or loves this event or tradition, and so instead of bringing down the hammer and killing it, you feed it for a while, you give it some energy, you show that you love it, and by extension, show that you love that person. And then you may need to take other steps later that bring it to a close. That is, one of the great ways to show people that you care about them is love the things they love. If they have a pet that they love and you express care and kindness to that pet, genuinely, that shows love to the person. So sometimes the right way is to feed it. The second method is to starve it. There are some programs or events or whole activities that you just simply stop giving it food. Take away resources, stop investing time and energy into it, and see what happens. Sometimes with just simply withholding some of those resources and saying we have to put these other places. Now, we can keep doing this, but we cannot keep investing the vital energy into something that's not reproducing. Sometimes it'll continue and die off on its own. Sometimes people will themselves realize, hey, we've been leading this thing, we got to stop doing this. This isn't the right thing. And they will end that thing themselves. Third way is to kill it. There are some things, again, not people, but some programs, events, strategies that just need to be bullet in the head. Let's end this thing. It's done. And sometimes that is the most merciful thing to do so that it doesn't keep consuming resources for no result. It takes wisdom to know which one to do to deal with an old dog, but that's the role of the leaders to figure out those kinds of tough calls.